This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you guys being here. And before we get started, let me just let you know now. We have nine tickets left to the home opener, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you get those tickets purchased now, because for this package, they're going to be sold out within the next week. So if you don't have your tickets and you want to join NBK, make sure you get your tickets today. There's a link in the description of the video. There's also one tagged to the top of the YouTube chat. All right, so make sure you get that done, ladies and gentlemen. You can click on those links as well to get more information about everything that's going to happen on that day. I got Andy in the building. Hit him with the guest theme song. That's the guest theme song. And then Isaiah has his theme song. And I got Big Bubba in the building. What's going on, fellas? How are you feeling? Andy, what's going on, man? It's been a minute.
Yo, what up, Sim? Like I told you, behind in the backstage, I had some minor personal problems. I'm back. I'm gonna throw out info that tomorrow I'm gonna be having an episode on the FIBA Eurobasket 2022. We are wrapping up the group phase today. Yeah. Are going to be the last games. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a wrap around of the group phase. Talk about, the best games that you guys can, try to catch somewhere on the internet, because these games were awesome. So, I recommend the NBA fans to watch at least a couple of these games.
Yeah, that's going to be dope. And we'll get it, you'll be doing update on some of the Knicks players that's out there and all
exactly.
Of that. Yeah, without a doubt. Because I know I've seen Evan Fournier doing a few things. Getting busy a little bit. So that'll be nice to get an update for you tomorrow. What time tomorrow?
Around 4. I'm guessing maybe 3:30, 4, something like that.
Okay, so mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Around 3:30, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Big Bubba, what's popping with you, bro?
Sometimes I'm getting sick and tired of this theme music. Why everybody else get the fires? Everybody else get the boom, 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 and the funk flex and all that stuff, but I get that.
I mean, who said that that's a negative sound? It's just a sound. I
like how you try to do that all the time.
Who says that a sound is positive or negative? It's a sound.
Oh, here you go, Master Yoda.
It's a sound. I mean, what you want me to do?
For me, it's a positive sign. Sound. I remember it from the circus. So
exactly, from the circus.
I know y'all didn't just call me clowns. I know that.
You
I know
said that. All we said is the circus.
Anyways, Sam, Andy, I'm doing good. I hope y'all doing good, man. It's going to be a good show today. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, Big Bubba, we might as well give you an update.
My God.
We might as well give you an update. He already said it on the air, so I can remind you. You said it on the air already.
I can't stand
you. Can't stand me what? You said it on the air already. Couple shows ago, so we might as well give you an update. If you guys pay attention to the show, you know that Big Bubba, had his eyes on a lady. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And at first he was coming to the game with just him and his pops. Now he's coming to the game with him and his pops and the young lady, ladies and gentlemen. And normally when you bring a young lady out with your family, that means I ain't going there. I'm just saying that means a little something. That's all. Before we get into this whole RJ thing, any comments on that, Big Bubba, man? You want to give the listeners an update Or did I give him an update?
I swear to God, I hate telling you stuff, yo, because you always gonna use it on this damn show.
You said it already.
Well,
don't you remember
Seb,
last show you said buy 3 tickets? I need 3 tickets.
Anyways, there's a rumor going around that I am supposedly getting 3 tickets.
Yeah, you guys ever see a black man blush?
Yo,
you almost he's close. He's close. Anyway, let's get into RJ. I'm gonna save you. Let's get into RJ Barrett, man. Listen, RJ Barrett signed that contract extension, which is a good extension for the Knicks, a good extension for RJ. I think it's a fair contract extension all the way around. We know that his name was mentioned in the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors and the negotiations and all that kind of stuff. With everything that took place this summer, with his contract extension, being mentioned, I mean, just being an important part of that trade negotiation, right? One of the main players kind of puts you up there in a status that says, not that he's on par or equal to Donovan Mitchell, but that's how highly regarded you are from the Utah Jazz, from the New York Knicks, that you were a main part of that trade. And the New York Knicks regarded you high enough to say, if we're putting RJ in this trade, we're not giving you this many draft picks or that many draft picks. And we're going to lessen the players that we put in too, because we're giving you RJ Barrett. So my question is, with those things taking place this summer, is there pressure on RJ Barrett to have a breakout season? And we'll have some follow-up questions to that. But is there pressure on him to having a breakout season? Andy, I'll start with you.
Well, Sinful, as far as I see it and as far as I think there's a little bit extra pressure only on RJ because of the extension. It doesn't matter that it kicks in after this season. Knicks fans are going to portray him as the guy that will be earning this and this amount of money. Mm-hmm. And we know that everything in, 3 digits in millions, in 100 millions, you're going to get called out on that basically on a daily, basis, right? So for me, I think the pressure is going to be on every Knick player. Brunson's going to have pressure because he's new, but he's, portrayed by some fans as the savior. But RJ, just for the extension, he's going to have that a little bit extra on him. So I think definitely the extension is going to put a magnifying glass on RJ's game this season.
Which I actually think is a little bit unfair because the extension doesn't even start until next season.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. But,
he still gets paid $10.9 million this year, which for me, that's a lot of money. In the NBA, it's not that much. So but most people, your general fan, isn't going to recognize that. All they seen in the newspaper and headlines is that he got an extension, right?
Yeah.
$120 million extension is what most people, your general fan, is going to see, although it's really a $107 million extension, and it can get up to $120 million with incentives. Isaiah, your thoughts? Pressure on RJ or no?
No. No, not to me, because RJ's continuously been getting better. And to me, the most pressure is going to be on RJ himself. If RJ continues doing what he's doing, he'll be fine. I think he'll earn his up to $120 million contract if he continues what he's doing and if he, puts the work in.
Wait a minute. So you think he'll earn the $120 million?
Oh yeah.
So you think he's going to be an all-star? He's going to be all-NBA?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because those are some of the stipulations, right? That, if you become all-NBA, first, second, or third team, you get some money. If you make the all-star team, you get some money. So this season?
I don't think this season he'll be an all-star because even right now, right? Because
And I don't think, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't even think that would kick in for this season anyway.
yeah, I don't think it
Right.
would either. And plus, ooh, even now, the shooting guard position in the East is you have James Harden, you have Donovan Mitchell now, you have Jaylen Brown,
Mhm.
and I'm not even counting Chris Middleton. I mean, Chris Middleton might just fall under a small forward or I
Still,
don't know.
no, DeMar DeRozan.
Nah, so it's the DeMar DeRozan.
I mean, you got a lot of people to compete with. It's going to be hard for RJ over the next few years
Yeah, it's like
to make
it's
an
like
all-star
the-
team. And it doesn't mean that he won't be putting up all-star type numbers,
Yeah, it's just tough.
right? A lot's going to be,
I mean,
let's put it like this. RJ meeting those incentives with the way the East is and the players that are in the Eastern Conference, for RJ to reach those incentives, Scott Perry, Leon Rose, and the rest of the team are going to play an important role. Because if they put the right players on this basketball team and they become good, RJ is going to have a better chance to make an all-star team and then an all-NBA team. But if not, he might be putting up great numbers. But he may not make an all-star team, even if he's putting up great numbers with great percentages because the team may not be good. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of his, it's tough. I mean, I guess it's like this with maybe every player in the league, but a lot of his money is going to depend on the front office, how they perform, and how the team performs.
yeah, because you know what it is? It's kind of like, remember the late 90s, early 2000s where Allen Houston, all them dudes?
Mm-hmm.
Dudes would put up great numbers, but guess who's in front of him? Michael Jordan, and you had a young Ray Allen, you had Kobe, you had a young Kobe Bryant, you had a lot of these young shooting guards in the league where it's like, hey, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be tough. But I think of everything. But also too, I mean, I think RJ has a real good chance to get it, hopefully with the all defensive team. I feel like that's where he's gonna get it from. If he can get it from there.
Well, I mean, listen, he's a good defender. I think he's a good defender. He's gonna have to stop giving up those backdoor cuts, though.
Oh my God, he gotta wake up.
You can't give up those backdoor
That
cuts.
be getting me so mad, because I be like, yo, you're waking up, man. But
Yeah, if he's giving up those backdoor cuts, I don't care if you got Mitchell Robinson back there or not. You can't be giving up backdoor cuts.
man,
And
it'd be
all the
crazy,
time.
because you could tell you be just looking at the game sometimes. He just ball watching, and then next thing you know,
You got somebody, bang, hitting the back door. That didn't sound right, but backdoor cut. Okay.
You lucky I can't edit the video because I got you now, because you got me back with Kev.
Oh, boy. Andy, any thoughts on what we just said?
Not the last part,
Listen.
Andy.
I agree most with with the most things. I don't know what's going to be the next points of view for about this RG thing, because there's several also reasons, like you said, the teammates, how the teammates play, what's going to be his role on this team, because I don't see a clear-cut role as RJ as the number one option on this roster. It's still, I think, unsettled, and that's also heavily depending on his game, right? So.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, because with this contract, I don't know, even at 107, what's that break down to per year? There was
It's about 26.
there was
26,
something
27.
out there to show what his annual breakdown was. I didn't get a chance to really look at that. Let me see if it's here now. Yes, so in 23-24, he'll make 23.8. Okay. Julius Randle's making 25.6. Jalen Brunson, 26.3. In 24-25, he'll make 25.7. Julius Randle will make 27.5. And Jalen Brunson will make 24.9. And then in 25-26, he'll make 27.7. Julius Randle will make 29.9 as long as he accepts the player option. And then Jalen Brunson will make 24.9 as long as he accepts the player option. Okay, so still in that season, so in the second year of RJ's contract, he'll make more than Jalen Brunson, less than Julius Randle. In the third year of his contract, he'll make more than Jalen Brunson, less than Julius Randle. Obviously, Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson have player options in 25-26. And then in 26-27, RJ Barrett will make $29.6 million. So contract-wise, if you're going by contracts, I'm not sure it would say he's the bona fide number one guy on the team if you're going by contracts. Some people do go by contracts. Some people say, hey, you're the highest paid player, you should have the most production. Okay? As long as Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are on this, well, Julius Randle is on his team, RJ will not get paid more than him on his base contract. Now, with incentives, it's possible. As far as the team is concerned, and you know what happens in the locker room, is he ready to step up and be that guy? I think it's still a question out there. You know what I'm saying? There's still a question. And this season, remember this season, he makes $10.9 million. Julius Randle's contract extension kicks in at 23.7. And then Jalen Brunson's contract kicks in at 27.7. And Jalen Brunson's contract is descending. It goes 27.7, 26.3, 24.9, and then 24.9. So, Isaiah, in your mindset, and I'm going to get to the caller soon, in your mindset, is RJ the bona fide number one guy on the team? Or is it still, I think it's still in flux. I agree with Andy. It's still in flux.
I hate that we all have to agree sometimes, but I have to agree. I think that right now it's still going to be 1A and 1B, RJ and Randle, and I think they're just going to go back and forth with it. Mm-hmm. Because I think the best, and this is my opinion, I feel like the best way to use Jalen Brunson to his fullest abilities is not to be the number one option. He's supposed to be the guy to guide the ship and get those guys in the best position. I think that's the true value of Jalen Brunson, which I think Jalen knows that, Thibs knows that. You know, I'm not worried about that. I just feel like it can be by committee. It can be by committee between RJ and Julius. And you know, I agree. I do agree with you. We talked about this before. Just, you know, me and you. That I feel like Julius is gonna have a real bounce back season, and I think he's gonna. You know, I know it's unpopular opinion right now, but I feel like he's gonna be good.
I think will.
I think RJ's gonna have a point to prove. So I think I agree with you guys. I think it's gonna just be 1A to 1B. Yeah. Between those two.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you just said. You know what I mean? I think Jalen Brunson. I heard somebody talking about why Jalen Brunson is the first option, or the top option, or option number one, whatever you want to say. And they were saying because he has the ball in his hands and he has to make the decision. So he can decide whether or not to pass it, shoot it, whatever. I kind of disagree with that take. Just because you're the guy, I mean, if that's the case, then Elfrid Payton was the number one option, right?
Oh my God! There's two things you're really great at. Three things actually. You can always bring up Carmelo Anthony. You can always talk about the girl I'm talking about, and you can always bring up Elfrid Payton. I swear to God, you can do it. It don't matter what we talking about.
I was proving a point, though. Would you say Elfrid Payton was your first option? No, but he was. At that point in time, he was the decision maker, right? You know, he was deciding where the ball was going to go. So I think just because you're the decision maker doesn't make you the number one option. You know, as the decision maker, you decide RJ's the guy that needs to get the ball the most, or Julius is the guy that needs to get the ball the most, et cetera, or how you're going to spread that around. You know, so I don't think that Jalen Brunson is your number one option. It doesn't mean that he won't drop 20 a game. He could, but it doesn't mean that he's the number one option. I think he's going to make that decision out there on the floor. You know, with RJ, though, I actually think RJ's in a good situation to continue to grow and develop, because he's not paid as the number one guy, if that's what you want to say. He's paid pretty much on par with Randle and Brunson. few $1 million, split up the guys. So he doesn't have to take the grunt of the responsibility. He can grow into taking the grunt of the responsibility. Because no matter what you say, Julius Randle is still going to be taking the darts this season. Jalen Brunson is going to be on a honeymoon period, right? RJ Barrett is the baby of the family. Julius Randle is going to take the bullets.
He's
and
the
the
big
darts
brother.
and all of that, right? He's going to take all of that.
He's the oldest brother.
You know what I mean? And until Julius Randle is gone or RJ just becomes so much better than him, you have no choice but to say he is the guy. Until one of those two things happens, he'll be able to, he'll be able to take the grunt of the responsibility from RJ and let RJ grow without that pressure. So, I mean, I agree. I think there is some. He'll probably put some pressure on himself. There's going to be some fans that when he doesn't play well say, oh, you just got this contract, this, that, and the third. So there may be some pressure there. But I still think for the most part, he's going to be, it's not going to be that much pressure on him.
And I do agree with you, son, because I think last year, right, I'm not going to lie, I thought RJ was in a real good position. Last year with Elfrid Payton, oh, golly, look at you. Look at you, got me talking about Elfrid Payton. Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, because I thought Kemba Walker was going to be exactly what RJ needed. Granted, we all know what happened with that. But I think this year is going to really be it because I think, again, Brunson's coming into his prime. And, again, Brunson's going to do what he's due. He's going to facilitate. He's going to control the team, put these guys in the best position to score, best position to do what they have to do. And again, for me, especially with RJ, I said this before, RJ is a great cutter. RJ is probably our best cutter on the team. Mm-hmm. He can easily get a solid 7 points just off cutting, 8 points off of cutting throughout the game, regardless of him having the ball in his hand. So, you know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be in a good option to score. I think Randall is going to, again, we talked about it, he's going to bounce back. And again, Jalen Brunson, to me, is the perfect point guard that this Knicks team needed. We didn't need the point guard that's going to get you 25 points and 4 assists. There's a lot of those. To me, those are the shooting guards that just have point guard bodies. Jalen Brunson is one of those true end of the era last point guards in this league. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Andy, where did you spoke about RJ's fit? Excuse me. Sorry. Andy, you spoke about RJ's fit. How do you see him fitting in with the team? Where does he get the ball? How does he get the ball? How much is there going to be isolation play? Last year at the end of the season, the ball was in his hands a lot more where he was trying to create and initiate the offense. How do you see that going this season?
Yeah, that's a major question for me, Sim, because we don't know what adjustments are going to be made by Tom Thibodeau. I think having a point guard like Jalen Brunson, I'm expecting a little bit of a different offense, because if we are coming back with the same offense and Jalen Brunson is going to be used like a guy that brings up the ball off the court and runs to the corner, then I don't think that's going to be a good signing as far as the front office, move. So for me, that's really important, and the ball is going to be in Tibbs's court to try to make the offense look a little bit different. That is going to be more maybe player oriented as far as featuring certain guys in certain positions. What we didn't see last year was playing RJ with Julius Randle in the pick and roll situation, because fans were thinking, oh, Julius is going to be traded, so we're not going to have use with him and stuff like that. That was a question for the whole season, because we saw Julius being matched up with Evan Fournier previous season with Reggie Bullock in the pick and roll. Meanwhile, we knew that RJ and Julius are going to be the main guys of the offense. So why not use those two guys and put the shooters on the second, on the other side of the court, right?
Right.
Having Jalen Brunson, you have way more options than just, having a point guard, even as Kemba Walker or as Elfrid Payton. As you said before, he has that scoring ability. That he isn't broken down like Kemba Walker, because Kemba Walker had the scoring ability. He just didn't have, the healthy body to run, the offense that he played his whole career.
Right.
So I'm expecting, some adjustments in the offense. I hope actually they're going to be major adjustments, because I didn't love the Knicks offense from last season.
Right. I don't think anybody did. It was slow and boring and predictable. You know what I mean? You basically knew everything that was going to happen. I'm going to come to you, Big Bubba, with the same question, but I want to get to the caller first. I do want to highlight this one comment I think is very, very true. Very true. J-Tap, he said, forget RJ. Bubba's the one under pressure.
Yo, Sim.
Yeah.
I swear. Listen, I'm going to make this very clear. We don't know who's the third person that's coming with us to the game, all right, yet? We don't know. I don't even know.
I do.
Sim, shut up.
I do.
Sim, can you shut up? Please, please. Listen, we don't know. It could be my mama. It could be my sister. Hey, if it's my sister, y'all got to relax. But we don't know yet. We don't know who the woman is. I mean,
Okay. There you go. There you go. See that? You don't know who the woman is. Anyway, caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Yo, Sim, what's good? It's JJ from Brooklyn. How
What's
you doing,
going on, JJ? How you feeling?
Bro?
I'm good, man. How you feeling,
good,
bro?
Man, good. What's good, fellas? How's everyone, man?
What up?
How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Doing good, man.
What up?
Tell Sim stop snitching.
Yeah,
on
man, I'm doing great, man. NFL season starts tonight. How could I be doing bad, man?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So talk to me, man. RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
How you feeling about, does he have some pressure on him to perform this year? Does he need to have a breakout season this year? And what would a breakout season be?
Go ahead. To me, I don't look at points. I'm an efficiency guy. So I just need the efficiency. Like, if he goes up to 23 and he's got the same efficiency, to me, it's not that. To me, it doesn't do much. Even if he dropped, let's say his points dropped to 17 or 18, and he was efficient and his defense improved, to me, that would be a leap in my eyes. I don't just look at like points, because if he's at 40, 41% again, then that's not really helping the team. So if he could be efficient, that's all I'm really asking for. I'm not asking for superstardom, I just need that efficiency to be like 2 seasons ago. His efficiency was great.
Right.
He was 45% from the field, 40% from 3.
40% from 3.
You could give me that again. That's money.
How does he get that efficiency? Isaiah, I'll start with you. How does he get that efficiency? And I'm gonna get him back on the line.
Yeah, so this is my last thing before I head out. Efficiency, man, to me, it falls under him not having the ball so much in his hand, like how he did last year, and him making better decisions. I think last year a major thing was that there was no one else he could look towards to get those shots. We had Randall was Randall. And other than that, who could RJ really trust? With that, because again, to me, the 2020-21 season, he had Reggie Bullock he could trust. He had Reggie Bullock in them. He had Julius Randle he could trust. And he was efficient. He shot 45% from the field. And I think this year when you got guys like Jalen Brunson, and I think Randall's gonna have a bounce back here. You got Quickly that I feel like you gain more trust with those guys. You got more trust in Quickly. You got trust in D Rose. And you're gonna be more efficient. I think to me, if a lot of the efficiency, yes, he has to make the shots and he has to make smarter decisions, but that comes also with the players around him.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think when it comes, and this is why I say Jalen Brunson was perfect for RJ Barrett, because he's not the score first. I'm gonna get 30 and 5 assists kind of point guard. No, he said I'm gonna set you up. You're gonna get in the right position. We're gonna get you them easy baskets. Like I'm gonna continue saying it. RJ can easily get 10 points off of just cutting, off of just just doing what he does best with one of those when he comes to cutting. That's 10 points right there on good. That's probably good efficiency. And then also we got to work on him getting better shots at the rim. He has to finish strong at the rim. He works on that. Again, I think the efficiency is going to be there for RJ. I'm looking for RJ. To me, this season, I'm looking for RJ to give me 45% shooting.
Okay. I mean, I think he can do it. A lot of it is going to depend on, what's going on with his teammates, et cetera, et cetera. how he's being used within the system. But then a lot of it is going to depend on, him knocking down shots, because last year there were a lot of times when RJ had some wide open shots and he didn't knock them down.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be.
Hey, Sim, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Andy, I appreciate you. Sim, please stop snitching on me, please, for once. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a good one, guys. See y'all later.
All right. I have a good one. Yeah, but that's gonna be a big key, I think, Andy, is how he's used, but just him knocking down shots when he's open. Because, last year a lot of times Julius Randle would draw the defense, kick it out to RJ, and RJ wasn't the only one, right? But kick it out to RJ, wouldn't knock down the shot. This year, Jalen Brunson's going to have the ability to break down the defense and kick it out. He's got to knock down those shots. You know what I'm saying? To bring that efficiency up.
Yes, and listen, and it's not only for RJ. When you want to fix your shooting goal percentages and field goal percentages, the main factor for me, it starts with the shot selection. Right. If you don't feel comfortable with a shot, you're not making them in practices, in warm-ups, and in games. If you miss like 3-4 shots, you don't take the 5th or 6th one. So you try to score a bucket and then maybe go back to that move and try to make the shot. I'm not a fan of how some fans feel that shooting guards just got to shoot out of a slump. You can do that off the court, not when you're on the court and in the game and it counts. You can try to get those buckets in practices and shoot arounds and stuff like that. Just taking shots, trying to shoot yourself out of the slump, it's hurting the whole team. So I don't think that's a good thing. And like Bubba said, he can get shots off of cuts, right? But that doesn't depend only on him. That has to be in the game plan. So that's more on Tibbs. Finishing around the rim, it's more on RJ. But, basically, last season, he didn't finish well around the rim, but he mostly got bumped. And, I think finishing stronger around the rim for him, it's going to be, easier to make those shots. And I think that he worked probably on that in this offseason. Right. And we're gonna see, a leap in that thing. That aspect of his offense, shooting as shooting goes, I think, it has to be a steady increase. I'm not expecting, 5% better, from season to season as a jump like that. But shooting shot selection can definitely fix, your shooting percentage for like 2-3% from season to season, just the shot selection.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that, because he dropped so far from 45 to 41 or whatever it is, that it swings back. You know what I'm saying? Swings back to 45 and corrects itself, overcorrects or something. Hopefully we get an overcorrection, right? We get an overcorrection, and then the year after that it corrects to what it normally would be. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Now, I think RJ I think he's motivated. I think the trade talks have maybe lit a fire under him. I'm sure he was abreast of everything that was going on, but I'm sure, it would light a fire under me like, oh, I'm going to prove to you that I'm not the one that you want to trade, even if it was for Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? That I'm on par or will be on par with that guy, But as far as RJ, in ways for him to score the ball, I would like to see him, like I said, be more efficient when he is open, catch the ball, slash into the basket. He's never been the guy that's going to kill you with speed or jump over top of you. So I want to see the craftiness in his game a little bit more. And that has to grow. That's what happens when you develop during the offseason. You grow and build some of that craftiness into your game. I think that's what he's going to need in order to be a successful scorer in this league. It's just to be more crafty, right? Every once in a while, you see some explosion of lift, but not that much. in order for him to score around the basket, he's not jumping over everybody. He's going to need that, just the little a little shimmy, a little shake, a little fake in the opposite direction, just those little kind of moves. And Jalen Brunson has a lot of those moves that maybe he can help RJ out with. You know what I'm saying? And I think RJ will go a long way. And then Kerry Cox said, I'll settle for 80% from the free throw line. I'm with you 100%. RJ's got to be a better free throw shooter, when we're talking about scoring at least. Because he's going to get to the line a lot. He's got a strong body. He gets bumped. Last year, him and Julius Randle, there was a point in time when they were both going to the line 7 to 8 times per game or shooting 7 to 8 free throws per game. And that was like top 10 in the league. They were both like top 10 in the league. So if he can start to knock down his free throws at an 80% clip, that'll be good. Sherman said he can't be crafty being a straight line dribbler. I disagree with that. You can use footwork. You can drive to the basket in a straight line, but then use your footwork to go around people, step around people, or even if you throw a couple of pump fakes, spin back, blase, blase, blah. If you can use your footwork, you can still be kind of crafty. Would I like to see him get more handle? Of course. Let me get you a phone call here. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Dan panel, how's everybody doing? It's Dan from North Carolina.
Dan, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful day. Beautiful day.
I heard what you were saying, and that was one thing that I was going to touch on is one of the pressures that he will have on him is getting his free throw percentage up.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel that he's going to have pressure on him, like you were saying, to prove, I shouldn't have been in trade talks because they weren't willing to part with Grimes, according to the reports. So they were willing to give up Barrett instead of Grimes.
Right.
So now he has to prove that they were wrong.
Right.
I do.
We're gonna talk about Grimes next, but yeah, they were willing. It seems as though they were willing to give up Grimes instead of Barrett, or maybe it was circumstances. Maybe it wasn't really that Grimes is better than Barrett or going to be better, but maybe it was circumstances. RJ already has, time in the league, proven that he can be a successful player in this league. So it was like, that's a given. And then maybe the Knicks were like, so if we're doing that, but if we're including RJ, because we know we got to give up something to get something, we're not doing Grimes too. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was that. So it was just kind of like circumstances, not that they value Grimes over RJ. I'm hoping that's what it is.
And another thing too is we're not there in practices, and I was reading something that a lot of the people in the front office weren't too high on Barrett, but we don't know if during practice that Grimes is torching them and then locking them down on defense. So they're seeing more than what we're seeing.
True.
Because they're seeing in practice.
True. Now, I will say this. Excuse me. A week ago, whenever it was, when the news was released that RJ Barrett was signing an extension, before that news was released by Adrian Wojnarowski, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there's a guy on Twitter, Big Nick Energy. Some of you guys, I'm pretty sure, know who he is. This was early in the day, and he wrote, RJ Barrett is either going to be extended by the end of the night or traded by the end of the night. He received the information from a source. And everybody on Twitter was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, laughing at him, etc. Boom, 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 boom. At the end of the night, it came out that RJ Barrett was being extended, and then the news also broke that Leon Rose had given the Utah Jazz an ultimatum, right? Or a deadline. You accept this trade by this time, or we're going to extend RJ Barrett. So what he said turned out to be true. He also said in that tweet, or string of tweets, that Jerry West told the New York Knicks that Quentin Grimes was going to be better than RJ Barrett. I can't say how true it is or how true it isn't. I just know what Big Nick Energy tweeted and what he tweeted before he said that about Jerry West and Quentin Grimes. What he tweeted before then came out to be true. He was on point. Bam. He was on point, 100% on point. So maybe what he's saying about Jerry West is also true. And he also, and he had that conversation with the New York Knicks and said Quentin Grimes is going to be better than RJ Barrett. And maybe that's part of the reason why. I don't know.
Well, and I do feel the same way. I do feel that Grimes has a higher ceiling than Barrett, but we could only wait and see. But at the end of the day, I know I'll get a lot of heat for it, but for me, RJ Barrett, I see him. I like Barrett, and I'm happy with the extension that they gave him because I think that's right around where he needed to be at 108 with the ability to get to 120. But I see him like a better version of Rodney Hood. To me, their games are similar. He's better than Rodney Hood, but I see him as a slightly better version of Rodney Hood.
Okay, I hope he turns out to be a lot better than Rodney Hood. I mean, Rodney Hood was okay. I hope he turns out to be a lot better.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but
like I said, we could only wait and see.
Yeah, we can only wait and see. But hey, my man Dan, right? Dan.
Yep.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, Dan.
Day.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, we definitely needed to be better than Rodney Hood, but I don't know, man. I'm not ready to say the pressure is on RJ Barrett as of yet. Next season, though, the pressure might be on him because that's when the contract extension kicks in. So we'll see. What about Quentin Grimes, though, Andy? Is there pressure on Quentin Grimes because there was, all the talk about him? Utah Jazz wanted him. The New York Knicks were like, no, and he was holding up trade talks. It felt like for a little while. It was like, wow, you're really holding this up because of Quentin Grimes? So is there pressure on Quentin Grimes to prove that he's worth it?
Yeah, I believe so, Sim. Like I said before, I think, the pressure is on basically every Knick player, but the most pressure on RJ, thanks to the extension, Quentin Grimes, thanks to these rumors. And listen, the worst thing for Quentin Grimes is that even the front office, they can tell him, listen, Quentin, this was the situation. This wasn't the situation. That's not going to change the fans' reactions for him, right? Because unless the front office comes out and says, like, listen, we would add Quentin Grimes to the trade if it was necessary. So, some fans, the Donovan Mitchell hive, they're going to hate Quentin Grimes if he doesn't make a bucket. Because, you didn't trade this guy for a guy like Donovan Mitchell. That's going to be, a tough situation for him. But Sim, I don't know if you saw Obi Toppin throwing out the first pitch on the Mets game. He got booed, if I'm correct. And he was mentioned in those trades as well. And I was feeling like, listen, the Mets fans were already thinking about Donovan Mitchell instead of Obi Toppin. That's why he got booed. And that was something that listen, I think everybody would give up Obi Toppin for Donovan Mitchell, but you can't blame Obi Toppin for not making the deal, right? So it wasn't in his power to pull the trigger on the deal. So, I think there's plenty of pressure that's going to be applied on these young guys. It's only going to be the second season for Quentin Grimes? The third season, right?
Second season. Second season.
Yeah, second season even. So I still think that, when there was a situation like this one with Donovan Mitchell, that most of the fans wanted Donovan Mitchell, no matter what the costs were going to be. That's gonna put the magnifying glass on you and your game this season. So we know that the Knicks fan base are gonna live with this trade. Every great game Donovan Mitchell has on the Cavs, God forbid he's gonna have a perfect game versus the Knicks, because that's gonna be hard on Knicks fans that we didn't get this guy because we didn't want to trade Quentin Grimes or Obi Toppin or first round pick in 5-6 years from now. So I think it's going to bring pressure even on that pick in 2027 when he comes to the NBA.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the last package was like the Knicks were offering 24 and 26. But yeah, I mean, if you think about that 29 or whatever, 28, whatever one of those picks were that the Knicks didn't want to give up, it's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be pressure on that player, but there's going to be pressure on the pick. If the Knicks are good, then I don't think fans are going to care. But if the Knicks are not good, then it's going to be like, well, we didn't want to give up this third pick. We didn't want to give up this pick for Donovan Mitchell, and then this guy turns out to be a bum or something like that. That wouldn't be good. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be good. But as far as Quentin Grimes, I think there is some. When you get ballyhooed like that, I don't know if I'm using the word correctly, but people are now like, we want to see what this was about. Are you actually as good as they portray you to be? You know what I'm saying? So I think it does put Quentin Grimes in a little bit of a situation. I was under the impression that Evan Fournier would still be the starting shooting guard, right? Because I thought Quentin Grimes still needed a year to marinate. It might have changed now after this. It might have changed. In your opinion, do you think he starts over Evan Fournier?
Unless he has like a perfect training camp, I don't see that happening. I think Tibbs loves more Fournier's skill set as far as the whole lineup of the starters as the Knicks go, instead of Quentin Grimes as one persona. What we gotta realize is that Quentin Grimes put it in the starting lineup is going to be literally the fourth option, right? So you can't expect him getting to the starting lineup and be averaging like 16, 17 points, right? Because he's not going to have the ball opportunities, the shot, the touches, and the rest of the stuff. Meanwhile, when he's going to be playing off the bench, he's going to have, a bigger role because he's going to be basically playing with Quickly. And I don't think even Cam Reddish is going to be, higher on the totem pole than Quentin Grimes as far as touches.
I don't think so.
Obi Toppin, probably not. Hartstein, definitely not. So it's going to be Quickly and Grimes off the bench, and I think it's still going to be better for him. But Sim, I bet you that there's going to be fans out there that if they see Evan Fournier in the starting lineup, first guy that's going to take blame is going to be Tibbs. The other one is going to be Quentin Grimes because he couldn't beat out Evan Fournier. And, people don't realize that, it's not that easy that, you wouldn't trade it, so you're going to be the starter now. I don't think that's the case for Tibbs. Tibbs is going to go with the lineup that gives him the most, opportunity to win and win now, not like 2 or 3 seasons from now. He's going to try to pull out a win every night the Knicks play a game. Right. So as far as I see, I think it's better for Quentin Grimes, and I think it's better for the Knicks to start Fournier.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, they play similar games. I think Quentin Grimes can go off the dribble a little bit better than Fournier. Obviously, I think he's a better defender than Fournier. Fournier's got a little bit more height than Quentin Grimes. Is it better for Quentin Grimes to come off the bench? I think so. I do. I think so, because I still think he needs a year to marinate, right? Playing the NBA a little bit. Last year was a little bit choppy, his playing time. He was, he wasn't playing, then he played, and then he got hurt, et cetera, et cetera. I'd like to see him just get that full season under his belt of fully being in the rotation. And then, see if he earns that spot. Now, during the season, if it ends up being that, it just looks like he fits better, then by all means, make the transition. But I agree. If he starts, and with everything that went on this summer, the pressure is on. You know what I'm saying? And fans are going to be like, okay, you didn't want to trade him. Now he's a starter. We're expecting some things from him. I don't think Tom Thibodeau cares, because he expects him to come in and perform. So,
and
yeah,
Sim, on the point that you said that Tibbs doesn't care, I think we saw that situation with Quickly. Quickly would probably be a better option at the point guard position than Alec Burks. As far as, on the offensive end, I still think that Tibbs kind of, kept him on the bench so he didn't get that fire. This playing starting minutes versus the starting lineups in the NBA is way more difficult than going, versus the bench guys. And some fans are going to say like, oh, he's way better. He might be way better, but if he would be, put it in that situation, that would actually might hurt him more than helped him out. And I think Quickly was one of those players that he didn't care, and he didn't have that, situation when he would be like, star-studded or something like that. He had that mentality to go out there and get his. Meanwhile, Grimes, I think, he's still a young player, and I think, his mental might be not that, specific and hard to, when he doesn't make like 2-3 shots. I think he's going to stutter and try to, pull out and not make, take the shot even. Meanwhile, a guy like Fournier or like Quickly, they're just going to have a loose trigger, and they're going to, pull for that shot, no matter if they like 0-3, 0-4. I think Quentin Grimes is going to think twice and try to make another play on that kind of a situation when he's off that night. And I think that's a thing that you shouldn't have in the starting lineup, and definitely not have a guy like that on the court in the crunch time when the game is close.
Yeah. We will see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. I think that, a little bit of pressure on Quentin Grimes. Listen, his trainer, when his trainer was on the show, he obviously he said all the right things about Grimes. But he believes that Grimes can handle the pressure and is ready to attack the pressure head on. You know what I'm saying? And prove his worth in the NBA and for the New York Knicks. If Quentin Grimes steps in this year and he's averaging, I don't know, let's say 12 to 15 points per game. You got RJ's going to do what he does. Jalen Brunson, we'll see how how that fits. And then, Julius Randle. But if Quentin Grimes can be that X factor, what do you think it does for this team if he's able to come in and average 15 points a game?
I think it definitely makes Fournier expandable. And you can get something back in a trade, at the deadline for Fournier, trading him to a playoff team, because with his experience he's going to be way more valuable to a team that's fighting for a championship than a young guy. So I think that would get Knicks more, assets. Doesn't matter if it's going to be young players off the bench, future first round picks or whatever. I think that could be easily the way to go, meaning, getting Fournier expandable. And I think also moving Fournier is going to make more room and more opportunity for guys like Cam if he's going to be here. So, I think that would be the move that you would have to do that would, make the team better. Because you don't, I understand that you have to have guys off the bench, but if you got a young guy that's proven, you can get rid of the vet.
Right. So you don't think Fournier's experience, his shooting obviously would be helpful off the bench? Because the Knicks, they still want to compete. They're still going to be trying to make the playoffs. And I think Evan Fournier is his shooting. I mean, the Knicks need that kind of shooting. He's the only person on the team that has that quick of a trigger, in my opinion. And I think that makes him really valuable.
Well, Sam, for me, I don't think Fournier's value is only with the shooting. I think he can create for the rest of the team, even off the dribble or, in a pick and roll game, he can still create more than the guys off the bench. So if they would just use him the correct way, I think he has more value. But if we're going to be using him just as a shooter, you can find guys cheaper that can at least take them out of shots. If they can make them out of shots that Fournier, I'm not sure. But I definitely think that, like you said, he has the experience. But if we're not using his whole skill set, it's kind of a waste. Yeah. That's why I would trade if Quentin Grimes would prove himself with the shooting, and you're just going to use our starting shooting guard as a shooter, then it's a waste of talent keeping a guy that can create, that can pass, and stuff like that. So
yeah, okay, I get it. Let me get to a phone call. Big Bubba, we're talking about Quentin Grimes, and if there's some pressure on Quentin Grimes after everything that happened with the Donovan Mitchell trade negotiations. But let me get to this phone call first, then we'll get to you. Caller, you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
What's going on, man? It's Daryl from the barbershop, man.
Daryl from the barbershop. What's going on with you, brother? How you feeling, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. First and foremost, right, I'm a little disappointed because we didn't get Donovan Mitchell. But in its totality, when I look at it, man, we were giving up a lot. We were giving up a whole lot. And as time went on and I hear people talking, it's no doubt in my mind that Danny Ainge tried to fleece us. He tried to fleece us. He tried to give us Knicks tax. He tried to fleece us. And I think a little bit of the organization's reputation followed when it came to the negotiations. But I was very surprised to hear, I don't remember both of these gentlemen's names, but what I heard was Danny Ainge and Leon Rose, they never really spoke to each other concerning the trade. Now, that's true or not, I don't know. They should have had someone else doing the mediating behind it, right? So we didn't get them. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here is we rock with what we got. However, I still see a couple of things that need to be ironed out. How is Obi going to get played if Julius is there? And we want to trade Julius when his value is at an all-time low right now.
I mean, but see, for me, and I want to get back to Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett that we're talking about. But for me, that's on Obi. It is on Obi to prove that he deserves that spot, and somebody else needs to go. It's not, to me, it's not on the front office to create that spot for him. He's got to prove that the front office needs to move on from Julius Randle, in my opinion. And I'm not sure he's done that yet. But let's get to RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes, though.
Okay.
All right, because we're talking about pressure on them. Is there pressure on RJ? Is there pressure on Quentin Grimes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think that we have a lot of frustrated fans that want to win now, that will manufacture, if that's the right word, they'll manufacture some pressure on those guys. Like, let's be honest. Okay, RJ is going into his fourth year, right?
Fourth
RJ's
year.
going into his
Fourth year.
right? Okay. RJ has improved every year on both sides of the ball. The thing that's lacking with him that I see is his jump shot and his free throw shot. Okay, he has to get better at the strike, and his jump shot is not very, very consistent. Like, he's not a knockdown shooter, but Grimes is. Grimes is a knockdown shooter.
38% last year.
Just needs PT. He just needs playing time, man. If he gets playing time, and I know these guys are not like NBA level talent in the summer league like that, if they're not starters, whatever. But he showed a lot. He showed a whole lot in the summer league to me. And I think if he had some playing time, I think that he will morph into an all-star. Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
I think he'll morph into an all-star.
Okay.
Because he has all the qualities, and he's a dog defensively.
Yeah.
He's a dog defensively.
Okay.
Man.
Well, I'll tell you what, and Daryl, and I'm going to let you rock. When people say that, he can morph into an all-star, it adds a little bit more of that pressure to him. Hopefully he has it in him to respond to that pressure. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you one question before you go. Let me ask you one question, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I heard what was he ranked coming out of high school? Wasn't he ranked very high? Wasn't Grimes ranked very high?
He was ranked very high. Yeah, he was ranked pretty high. He was, one of your top players coming out of high school. But there's a lot of players that are a top player coming out of high school and, doesn't end up being the same in the league. We'll see. We'll see what he's made up. But Daryl, I appreciate your time, man.
Okay, thank you, man.
All right.
Y'all guys stay
Appreciate
safe.
it. Have a good one. Big Bubba, man. We're talking about Quentin Grimes, and with, the negotiations that happened this season, or not this season, but during the offseason in the summer, the Knicks not wanting to put him in the trade, blah, 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 blah. Is there pressure on him?
Sim, I feel so bad for Quentin Grimes. Because when I mean to tell you there's some pressure on Quentin Grimes, Sim, there's some pressure on Quentin Grimes, man. Geez, man. And it sucks because, like, I would love for him to be the low-key player that just, like, is just really good and just he's low-key, but Lord have mercy, Sim. The way the Knicks were just basically saying, no, we're not giving up Quentin Grimes. No, we're not giving him up. Thibs, I love the guy. Like, Sim, think about this. There were trades that were halted because of Quentin Grimes. Like, we couldn't get certain players because we wouldn't give up Quentin Grimes. Man, that's a lot of pressure on him to be good. And then basically I said he could be Danny Green. And
yo, he better be. Listen, I'm telling
man,
you right
Sim,
now.
I ain't gonna hold you, Sim. I'm not gonna lie, Sim.
I'm telling you right now, if he ends up being Danny Green,
I wouldn't be mad if Spurs.
I would. I'd be mad. I don't care. I'm gonna
Spurs
be mad.
Danny Green?
Huh?
Spurs Danny Green?
If he ends up being
Danny Green was pretty good, man.
If he ends up being Danny Green, and you refused to move this guy for Donovan Mitchell, well, I'm not going to say that they refused him, but, there were stipulations, okay? If he ends up being Danny Green, I'm going to be pissed. Excuse my language, little children out there.
Shout out to Oscar.
Okay.
But
what's up, Oscar? Where is Oscar? Well, shout out to
where's
Oscar.
Oscar, man? I think is Oscar in high school now?
Yeah, he should be. He came on last time he came on. He had a deep voice. I was like, whoa.
Oh man, that
what's
joke
going
was
on?
crazy. Man, shout out
But
to Oscar, man.
if
That's a
he
blast
ends
from
up being Danny Green, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be hot. Nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna be hot.
I'll say this.
It's gonna be hot.
Sim, I'm gonna tell you what. Knicks fans on Twitter Spaces, they want him to shoot like Ray Allen, defend like Tony Allen. They want a mix of those guys. So he has,
Hey, Andy,
space to grow.
Andy, I basically see he got to be Kobe. God dang.
Yeah, or even better.
I'll say this though, Sim. Seriously, I'll say this. Here's my numbers. 15, 15, 4, no, 15, 5, and 2 on 44% shooting and 40% from 3.
We'll see. I don't know. Let me see.
Those are my numbers. I'm not going to do the 6. I'm going to do 15. I'm going to do 15.
Isaiah, but you think he's going to be starting or he's going to become off the bench?
Yes. He's starting. I know, Andy. I'm sorry.
Nick fans going to have the hearts broken same on opening night.
Andy, I'm going to be real. Look, and it's crazy, Andy. I'm not as mad as keeping. I want to keep Fournier because he's a great shooter. But you can't. I personally can't think you can have Brunson and Fournier start. Sorry, you're putting a lot of pressure defensively on RJ and Randall and Mitch. Versus if you had Grimes, you really just have to worry about. You got to just worry about Brunson, really.
Isaiah, as far as the defense goes, I don't think Quentin Grimes can guard NBA point guards. Shooting guards, running after the screens after them and stuff like that, it's totally different thing than guarding point guards. Totally different thing.
You don't think so? I mean, I think he moves his feet well enough. I do. I think he moves his feet well to be able to guard point guards. Yeah, I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5". I think he can get low enough.
I think he can stick with them maybe for the first step, but the second and third step, he's still in the back.
But that's my thing. But that's my thing, though. I mean, at least with Grimes, again, if it's to me what I believe is going to be our starting 5, which is going to be Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Randall, and Mitch. I mean, you got to say, Andy, that's better defensively than Brunson and Fournier at the backcourt. We got to, sometimes you got to call a spade, man.
Isaiah, I'm just telling you. You might think so. I might think so. Sim might think so. Tibbs is going to make the decision. And I don't see him putting Quentin Grimes over Evan Fournier.
That's his guy, though. I mean, that's his guy. He
said he loved him. He said he loved him.
That's his guy. I mean, I agree. I agree. Right? I said it a long time ago, and I'll say it again. I still do believe that it's Evan Fournier's spot to lose right now. But with everything that happened, we don't know if it was coming from Leon Rose or was it coming from Tom Thibodeau to say, hey, I really don't want Quentin Grimes to be in this trade. I got plans for this kid.
One thing that we know is true, and regardless of how anybody feels, they wanted Quentin Grimes to stay on the Knicks. Like, they wanted Grimes on the Knicks. I don't know. I listen, I'm not gonna lie, man. But see, Andy, my thing is, why not have Evan Fournier come off the bench? You have great shooting. You would have a great shooter coming off the bench, and you have D Rose breaking down the defense and just passing it out to Evan Fournier.
Isaiah, for me, I said,
as long as D Rose is playing,
as long as D Rose is healthy, you got to make that clear. Yeah.
Let me get to a phone call real quick, okay? Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Yo, what's good? What's great? It's Brian from Long Island. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How you feeling, Brian? How you doing, man?
And I can't complain, man. I can't wait for basketball to start. So all this talk, we can get some answers instead of all the speculating, man. This has been the longest off season ever, it feels like.
You know what I'm saying? It has. I mean, listen, last year, you had COVID and all of that. Or was it last year or the year? Was it last year?
2 years ago.
No, that was 2 years ago. I know, right?
Did they start on time last year?
Yeah, yes.
But last year,
yes, they did.
They started on time
last
but
year.
the
2 years ago,
playoffs.
they started in December.
The year before they started in December.
Yeah, so last year they had the NBA Finals in June, and then the season. Yeah, they started
last summer, because last summer when we did the draft party was in July last summer.
Yes.
Right. So that.
Yo, Sim, you know what you're thinking about, Sim? You're thinking about 1920 because the
Right.
20 season is when
1920 definitely.
The 1920 is when they ended the season in September and basically started in November.
But like last off season, we started. I remember because it was our first time doing a draft party. We did it in July, and then it turned right around into free agency, and then turned right around into training camp, and then the season started in October or November or whatever it was.
Yeah, everything was ramped up.
Everything was like cramped in together so it can get back on track this year. So that may be part of the reason why this summer seems like it's so long. We still got until the end of the month until training camp even begins.
And that's what's like driving us all crazy, especially.
No doubt.
I think it's that, and I think because of how free agency turned out with the KD saga and the Donovan Mitchell saga, and those taking 2 months to figure out, it's kind of like nothing happened.
Right. No doubt about it.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm calling to talk about like the RJ and Quentin Grimes thing. In my perspective, is there added pressure to Quentin Grimes and RJ? I would say yes, because it's New York. There's always pressure, but I can't speak for all fans. I'm speaking for me. How I'm looking at it is, before all this Donovan Mitchell stuff happened, I think if you were to poll Knicks fans about how our offseason was if our offseason was done after signing Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein, I think the positive, like mostly people would be like, yeah, I like what the Knicks did, boom, boom, boom. I think the most thing you would hear is like, we got to find a way to trade Randall, whether you're a Randall fan or not, blah, blah, blah. I just think that's how it would be. And I think the disappointment, sort of like the negativity comes from not getting Donovan, which is crazy to me, because you have a lot of, I feel like people are talking out of both sides of their mouth, where it's like, I'm happy we didn't give up everything that we needed to give up to get Donovan, but I'm upset that we didn't get Donovan. It's like, you can't have it both ways. So how I'm looking at it is, I hope when training camp starts, if it is going to be Quentin Grimes, I hope Quentin Grimes is good enough to beat Evan Fournier in the starting lineup. RJ, the most thing that I want from RJ is just to get that free throw percentage up consistently. And then I'm cool with letting playing the team and letting the chips fall where they may. Because the best thing about not making that trade is that we still have that draft pick, our own draft pick, in what should be a loaded draft. So if we do play the young kids, ideally for me is we play the young kids and let the chips fall where they may. Mm-hmm. If they're trash, good. We found out that they're trash, so now when their contracts come up in 2 to 3 years, we can approach that accordingly, and then we get a good pick. If they're as good as we think they are, then it kind of sets us up for the future. I'm just tired. I just want them to pick a direction. This half pregnant stuff is what's frustrating me the most about this team.
Half pregnant? That's kind of hard to be. You know what I'm saying?
No, because it's like they showing 6 months later, but then 6 months it's like, nah. It's like we want the young kids, but
I mean, but I feel like though.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the roster, right? The roster is pretty young. Besides, Evan Fournier is going to be 30 when not when the season begins, but sometime during the season. Derrick Rose is over 30. Taj is gone. Alec Burks is gone. Like, those guys are out of there. Who else? I mean, who else do we have on the team that's 30 or approaching 30? Julius Randle's going to turn 28. I don't think we have anybody else that's 30.
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we have a fairly young team. Jalen Brunson is 25, 26 or 25.
26.
Hartenstein is 25 years old. Obviously, you know about RJ and Grimes and Obi and Mitchell Robinson and all of those guys. So we have a fairly young basketball team. You know, and even if they did trade for Donovan Mitchell, he's 25 years old. So they still would have been fairly young. So I think they've kind of, if they didn't come out and say it, they've shown a direction. We're going to rock with young guys, you know, and build the team. I think going for Donovan Mitchell, people kind of look at it and say, well, you were going for you were going for a big fish, but he still is young and fits in that age timeline with Jalen Brunson. And even if somehow, some way, I was hoping that he was going to be here and RJ Barrett was going to be here too. You know, RJ Barrett's 22 years old. You know, quickly 22 years old. Quentin Grimes, 22 years old. Obi Toppin, 24 years old. So he still would have fit in that timeline with those guys. You know, so I think we have chosen a direction. You know, but they seen an opportunity to try to get a superior talent.
I feel that.
You know,
And
you know,
as far as the Quentin Grimes of it holding up the trade, I don't necessarily see it that way, just because how it was reported, it was like, we want RJ, Grimes, and all the draft picks and the swaps. And I think the Knicks were coming from the standpoint is it's either you have Grimes and all the draft picks or the swaps, or you take RJ and Grimes and you lessen that trade package. But I don't necessarily see it as Quentin Grimes was the one that held it up. That's why I don't think there's too much pressure on Q.
Okay, I can see that. I can see where you're going.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, my man, I appreciate your time. Thank you for giving us a call. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, you know, people say that a lot, that we haven't chosen a direction. I kind of disagree. I think we have chosen a direction. You know what I mean? I think we're a young team, very young team.
I think I do agree with you, Son, because like you said, at the end of the day, even if we did get Donovan Mitchell, we were going to be young. Yeah. And the funny thing is, we were going to trade older players to get Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
So in retrospect, we probably would have been even younger. So, we're good, man. We're a young team.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
go up and down the court.
Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of announcements that I want to make before I get up out of here. Number one, there's only 9 tickets left for this home opener ticket package. The link is in the description of the video. There's also one pinned to your YouTube chat. So make sure that you get your ticket, because they're going to go quick. So if you plan on going to the home opener with MBK, get your tickets. Everyone's going to be there. Gmo's going to be there. Die Hard, still Knicks fan is going to be there. State is going to be there. Isaiah's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Steph, Tony Crow, like, you know,
we got to go for Andy.
The whole crew is going to be there, man. So make sure you Evergreen is going to be there. So make sure you get your tickets.
And Andy's going to be there, y'all. Right? Andy's going to be there.
In spirit.
In spirit.
He's starting you a GoFundMe.
Yeah. And also next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be on this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. I might be on later on tonight or Friday. I don't know. We'll see. I got some things going on. But Saturday or Sunday, I will be on. But beginning on Monday, I'm going to start breaking down the players and how they fit on the team, you know, with video breakdowns. All right, so that should be, you know, pretty dope. And I'll be doing those shows pretty much until, you know, it's going to be a coach's corner pretty much until the beginning of the season. You know, just doing some breakdowns on how I think these guys are going to fit together. So that should be fun if you like that sort of thing. All right. Andy, any words you want to say before we get up out of here?
Yes, I'm happy to be, you know, back home and back with you guys. Like I mentioned at the beginning, tomorrow around 3:34, I'm going to do a breakdown of the group phase of Eurobasket 2022, which features a couple of Knicks, couple of once Knicks, you know, always Knicks, even several, you know, former Knicks players. No, I'm going to have a cool story about me going to a game, Poland versus Croatia. I had to, you know, an opportunity to meet a couple of NBA players, talk to them. So I'm going to be, you know, talking about that too. And listen, guys, like Sim said, plenty of shows coming up. Not only Sim, not only me, Steph, Tony with the crossover, Steph with her channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Ron with his channel, and the rest of the crew. So,
All right. Isaiah, any last words?
Yeah, I'm super excited, man. Sim, I'm glad to see the whole family gonna be there because we are a family. Besides you snitching on.
We're gonna be there.
And we might.
There might be a new member to the family.
Oh my God!
Maybe there's gonna be a new member to the family.
Anyways,
you brought it up.
I'm gonna be there. My dad's gonna be there. It's gonna be real. Papa gonna be there, and it's gonna be my mom probably. My mom. But no, Andy, man, as always, is great. Sim, you the GOAT. Listen, man, another great banger, man.
Yeah, and before we go, one more announcement. Just got the message just now. Maybe sometime early next week, I'll have Quentin Grimes, trainer, back on the show. To talk about Quentin Grimes and his development throughout the offseason. Maybe, see how he's feeling now that this whole trade thing is over. I'm sure there's a little bit of angst lifted off of his shoulders. So we'll get the scoop. All right. Next week, I'm not exactly sure when. I'm going to set it up right now. Set up a day and time, and that should be a good show. You know what I mean? Quentin Grimes, trainer. Perk, he'll be back.
Sim, and happy birthday, Deuce McBride.
Oh, snap. Happy birthday to Deuce. All right. No
Virgo energy, man. Virgo's energy. We popping.
Yeah. Let me see. Shaw Power said, can you put the link for the tickets, please? Yeah, I'll
we
put
got
it back
9
in there.
tickets left. 9 tickets, y'all.
Yeah.
Hurry up and get those tickets. 9. Come on now.
Take care of that. Shaw Powers, I just put the link to the tickets in the chat. All right. And it is in the description of the video. It's also pinned to your YouTube chat, but I just put it in there. I just spammed it. All right, 9 tickets left.
That's the only.
Make sure you.
That's the only spam we like on the chat.
Yeah, no doubt. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're up out of here, and I'll catch you very soon. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.